Hey, what's up guys, this is rookie season. It's going to be a special episode. Today I kind of want to tell you the story of how it all happened for me, where it all started. And I think starting outside my school is an ideal scenario. So people that are close to me know that when I first came to England I was only 11 years old and I virtually couldn't speak a word of English. So as you can imagine, the start and the whole beginning for me was pretty tough. So I was the only foreign kid in school at the time as well, and coming into an environment with no friends, not being able to communicate with anyone was pretty daunting. And I think every day for the first year or so was pretty much a struggle. So this is kind of what it all started for me in a small little gym at my school, and every day after school I'd be in there training, doing what I can. And that is when the fire started burning, and even since that day I was always very committed to what I wanted. My routine and structure was perfect. I'd wake up every day at 6 AM. I'd still get plenty of food in because I obviously knew I had to eat. And that is pretty much where it all started. It was year 7, I was 11 years old, and my mum and dad moved to England in, I think it was January 2005, so it was halfway through year 7, and from what I can remember, the experience wasn't very nice, as you can all imagine. The only foreign kid in school, couldn't speak English, so as you can all imagine, I got bullied pretty bad. And some days I was waking up feeling sick, crying, not wanting to go to school because I knew what was coming every single day. But I think having such a hardship at an early age has made me who I am now. You build something that nothing else can teach you. Like, you learn how to not give a fuck and be able to get through anything in life. Yeah, my early years taught me how to be persistent and taught me the strength that nothing else could really teach me. And obviously being able to get through such a hardship, and it was pretty much a scary experience every single day going into school, knowing I'd either be punched in the face or I'd get stuff thrown at me. It teaches something no other experience in the world could. And I think going through that at such an early age has made me who I am now, and has taught me how to persevere and work through anything in life and any hardships, anything that anybody can throw at me. I know I can take, and I know I can get through. So the reason I'm telling you all this is, obviously I want you to all know a little bit of story behind me. I want you to all know how it all started for me. I want you to all know, obviously it's never just been glory, it's never just been what you see on social media. It's not been a good start for me. When I first came to England, obviously mum and dad started with nothing, so I wasn't wealthy, we didn't have much money at all. Obviously everything was simple in life, and everything obviously I got I had to work for. And another thing I've learned about work ethic and the persistence and consistency is from mum and dad. Obviously they both work 12-hour shifts every single day, day in, day out, and it's something I always remember, and it's something that's taught me how to be strong and how to work. And the work rate that they have has kind of moved on to me now, where I know my work rate is pretty good at the moment, and I know I'm capable of doing anything I want. And throughout my years at school I was never interested in anything else apart from bodybuilding, and even when I boxed, the teachers knew that they can't really get my interest off what I'm committed to. So shortly they realised that they're pissing in the wind. They can't really do much with me. And I remember when I was 15, that's when I stopped boxing altogether and started bodybuilding properly. Mum actually had a meeting with one of the teachers, and they said, look, if it's nothing to do with what he eats, or when he trains, he's just totally not interested, and there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately, because he's so passionate about something and he knows who he wants to be. And because of the way I was, most of teachers always thought I'd be a nobody and I'd never get anywhere in life, as they do. But I don't know if you all know, guys, but Arctic Monkeys, Mr. Turner, Alex Turner, is Alex Turner?
Sure, man.
Alex Turner, innit? Lead singer of Arctic Monkeys. His dad taught music here, and he was my music teacher, Mr. Turner. And that's no bullshit, guys. Google it. Mr. Turner. He's got long hair, quite a biggish man, but he would always very, very good to me. And he always said one thing, and he always said it to other teachers as well, like, he will be whoever he wants to be. And I don't know if he'll watch it. He probably won't watch it now, but I'd be very proud to say to him now that obviously I am who I am, and I am who I've always wanted to be. So I've achieved what I wanted since I was a kid. So I don't really think many people in life can honestly say that they are who they are and who they want to be, and doing what they love doing, and have the blessing to earn a living out of it as well. So in a way, I do feel blessed for my life, and I do feel like I'm thankful for all the shit I got in my early years, with having no friends, getting bullied, getting my shit kicked out of me every single day, because it's made me who I am, and it's helped me get to where I am now. Because I know, even since that day when I first came to England, my first day at school, like, I know it's taught me something that nobody else and nothing will teach me again. And I know that I can keep going my life, and I can keep reaching goals and keep reaching new heights that are attainable, and nothing will stop me getting there. So yeah, that was pretty much the beginning for me. But I'm not sure if anyone can relate to this, but obviously it's not always roses, it's not always super nice, it's not always comfy. But whatever you go through, you just keep fucking going and you'll get there. And I'm a prime example of that. I knew what I wanted since an early age, and I never stopped, despite what teachers told me, despite what other people told me. People always said he'll never be a good bodybuilder, he'll never do anything in life. And look at me now. I've done okay. I'm a semi-successful bodybuilder. I've just got a pro card. I'm competing as a pro first time this year. I've got a successful business. I'm a coach. I do what I love. I get paid for what I love doing. And I think probably 1% of population can honestly say that we're hand on heart like I can. So let's move on to next, and I'll show you my first ever boxing gym. That is where my journey started, with training 6 days a week, and that is where I kind of learned how to be fucking consistent and relentless with my training. So yeah, follow on, guys, we're just getting going. It's just a quick coffee stop before we hit the next location with Jay. Decaf for me, full fat for Jay, obviously. But funnily enough, I've just bumped into one of my school friends, and it just reminded me a little bit of how it was for me personally. I never really had any close friends until I left school, so I could never fit in with anyone. And the only friends I ever had, it was always the people that I've met after school, and it's always been people that I met either through boxing or bodybuilding. So not only do I owe bodybuilding my whole life and where I am now, everything I own, but I think all my friendships are built through that as well. Every single person that I've met that I hold close and dear to my heart, I've met through bodybuilding pretty much. And that's including Meg, that's included all my closest friends that I've all met them at the gym. So the gym's not only been something special to me for various reasons, but another special reason for that is obviously the people that I've met through all my life. I've met them all through the same thing, and that's passion for training and bodybuilding and boxing. So I think the gym and the whole culture of what we do has a lot more than people realise, and has a lot more to offer than what people think. It's not just lifting weights, it's not just eating 6 meals a day, it's a whole community thing, and it's you can get a lot more out of this than people think and than what people see. So I'm trying to share with you guys obviously my story and what I've gained from doing this and what I've gained from pursuing a passion, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I owe everything to the game, so I'm pretty happy and content with where I am, but it's still not enough, and it's still not where I want to be. So the progress continues. So we're outside my first ever gym. Back in the day it was called Malt House Boxing Gym. It was owned by Tommy Wilson, and if you're from Rotherham, you know who Tommy and Mickey Wilson is. So that no leaves no explanation. They were like the toughest. I think it's a family of brothers. There's like 7 brothers, I think, and there was one of the toughest families in Rotherham. So they ran this boxing gym, and that was the first ever gym that I trained at. So from the age of 11 up until 15, I would be walking down this alleyway every single day, 6 times a week, to do my boxing session. So we'd start at 5 o'clock and I'd finish at 7, and then 7 till 8 I'd be doing my weights. So this is where it all started for me, and the moments I had here again are priceless. So the first day I ever came here, it was actually with a lad I knew, and Tommy was stood at the counter and said, "Look lads, if you get in the ring with her," Tommy's daughter, and again at the time I didn't know how good she was, "so if you get in the ring with her and you can land one punch on her, you can come and train. If no, and if you can't hack 3 rounds in the ring with her, you can kind of get out." So anyway, I got in the ring, and she must have put me on my arse about 5-6 times, but ever since then I was like, yeah, I'm coming back every single fucking day. But she was actually an amazing boxer already, so I couldn't even land a punch on her. But yeah, this gym's taught me a lot of things, man, a lot of things. So the discipline, and the main thing it's taught me, you can get punched in the face and not worry, it's not going to kill you, but the discipline, the commitment and hard work that has gone into hours and hours and hours of fucking sweat in this place, it's limitless. And again, I've met some amazing people in this gym that I still speak to now, and again, it's memories I'll cherish forever. But this is where it all started for me, so it's kind of special, and this is kind of where I got the bug. And although I love boxing, my passion always lied within bodybuilding. So that is when I was 15, obviously boxing came to an end and I started training properly, and that is what will lead to our next stage of the video, is where it all began, my first ever bodybuilding gym. And funnily enough, it was actually the same gym that I PT'd at whilst I trained at Muscle Fusion. So we'll take you outside there, and then the story will continue. So I had to take a little visit to our mum's, get them a little, some of the little old boxing trophies, and obviously a picture of mum. But yeah, mum's found an article from back in my prime. So you can guess which one's me. Obviously the good looking one. But let me just get out, where does it say now? Morehouse Prospect, Kuba Cielen, Cielen virtually lives in the gym 6 days a week, and I think he could win a title next season. See that, bro? I won't lie about the 6 days a week. So I'm just giving some evidence. But yeah, that's a wrap up at mother's house. Obviously she's in bed now, so kind of I've got to keep his voice down and stuff. Alright, so because it's History Day, I've just got outside my first ever bodybuilding gym, which is now across the road actually from this place. This is where Total Rebel used to be, and everyone always known it as Brunos. And well, Bruno's because the owner was called Bruno. Never. Obviously, yeah. Oh man, he was a cool guy. Bruno, the owner, was actually the guy that let me train with him first. So we'd train every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's taught me the basics when I was a kid. And I think he retired and sold the gym just before I turned 16, and then after that, I think 6 months later, I did my first show at 16. So this is where it all started for me, with bodybuilding officially and properly, and that's when I first did my show. Well, I did my first show, and at the time I think it was Nabber North East, and it was the under 18 class. But I always remember there was a lot of people in the gym saying, "Oh, he's just a fat kid. You can't diet. You can't do this. You can't do that." And then 4 months later, I did my first show, and I got in very good shape. My lower half was very smooth because I was so young, I think, but my upper body was in very good nick. What made me push on most was actually the people in the gym saying I can't do it. I just thought, fuck you, I'll show you that I can do it. But that is where it started really. And then the gym kind of moved across road, I moved house, so I started training at other gyms, etc. But it's always been a great gym, and I always hold a lot of memories here as well. And obviously it was one of the first gyms that kind of inspired me to compete, and here are the people I met that took me to the first bodybuilding show. So the first ever bodybuilding show I went to was actually with Pete Brown, and I went to watch the British finals where Flex Lewis won his pro card, and that was a special moment again. And ever since that day, I was like, yeah, fuck, this is what I look like. This is what I want to do. So, and then after that, the second show I went to was a NABBA show, and Bruno took me actually with another bodybuilder called Nigel Cox, which is a legend in this area. We all owe Nigel quite a lot through the guidance and stuff for the years when I was younger. But yeah, the second show I went to, Dorian Yates was there. So can you imagine that? First show, Flex Lewis wins, and then second show, Dorian Yates there in flesh in front of me. And I remember asking him a few questions and stuff. I was just a young lad, and he was like, "Yeah, man, make sure you train hard, eat plenty of food, you'll be all right." I'm like, okay. Well,
easy as that.
Yeah, inspirational, bro, inspirational. But yeah, the gym's actually across the road now, and funnily enough, this is the gym where I PT'd at through the years of working on the doors and training out of Muscle Fusion Gym. So throughout 2015, when I was prepped for the Universe, it was one of the hardest prep I ever did, and at the time I was working doors and PT in the daytime, so I'd work the door till 3 in the morning, I'd PT in the day, train in the afternoon, I'd PT again at night, and then back on doors in the evening. But obviously at the time I was working up Sheffield. So to show you the rest of the story, obviously I've shown you all the gyms, now we're going to show you where I worked and when I did the doors in Sheffield. So yeah, strap in for the ride, guys, we're not done yet. So guys, so now we're outside Muscle Fusion Gym in Sheffield. This is the first bodybuilding gym that I competed out of. So this is where I trained, and this is where I competed out of through my early years before I actually opened the gym. And one thing I can always say about the owner is he's always supported me, and he's always kind of looked after me, and he always had my best interests at heart. And even when I told him I opened a gym, which is literally 10 miles away from here, he was always supportive, and he said, look, if you ever need any help with anything, any advice, always let me know. So I will always be grateful for the support that I got from Lee and Helen, training here all the years and supporting me as a young kid. And as they will probably tell you, I'm not sure if they will or not, but even back then I was very boisterous, and Helen, so to speak, she always put me in my place. So I'll always remember that, and I'll always appreciate it. So don't ever forget where you started and the people that always helped you along the way. And obviously that's why we're here. I want to show you guys where I started and where I trained, where I made progress from my early years. So let's go and check it out. We're here now with the man behind the green machine. So I've got Lee from Muscle Fusion. He's, believe it or not, he's done most of the work himself in the gym. So like I said, he's always looked after me, always been really good to me. So even when I was a little dickhead back in the day, and I'm sure he can attest to that as well.
No few stories.
Yeah, so we'll have a little walk through the gym now, show you what crack is. And I can also say this is the best gym in Sheffield, and one of the best gyms I've ever trained at. Atmosphere in the kit's unreal. So if you're always in Sheffield area, pop through, have a look, and check the pictures out on the wall. He's had pretty much every athlete from the area train here. So it's definitely one of the best gyms I've ever been in. So let's walk through. We've got a little wall of fame there. So we've got Dave Titterton, Anne Bales, everyone knows Anne. We've got Drew, we've got me and Max O'Connor. So it's a nice touch. Obviously when I competed here, Lee always looked after us, and obviously when he did well, he obviously had all that made for us as well. And I think it's a nice touch for the owner to kind of appreciate what you do and appreciate the work you put in just by giving little bits back like that. It just makes you feel good a little bit about yourself. So take note, gym owners, be like Lee, not like others. The shot behind me is a gentleman that I trained with for years. One of my best friends, one of my closest friends as well. And unfortunately he died a few years ago. And it was a little bit of story behind it. Basically, he just got mistreated by NHS, and I will say that because that's what happened. And he got misdiagnosed, and it was given a complete wrong treatment. So it was one of the toughest guys I've ever trained with, one of the hardest men I've ever known. And we spent a lot of years in this gym and other gyms training together. And probably trying to kill each other in the gym, so to speak. But again, it's a very nice touch of Lee to have the picture of me and him on the wall together. And we train here pretty much every single day for like 2-3 years straight. So there's a lot of memories that I kind of cherish, and a lot of memories that we hold together in this place. So again, it's something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. So I'm kind of, this is what I want to do with a storyline for you guys, just so you know a little bit more about myself. There's a little bit more to the eye than what you can see, so this is why I want to kind of share the full story behind things and show you the full history of bodybuilding, not just what you see now. This is the first club I actually worked at when I did the doors. It used to be called Embrace, it's now called Area Sheffield. It's Sheffield's only super club. But yeah, the times out here, mate, are unbelievable. So on some nights, especially student nights, we'd probably have 1,300 people in there. So we'd work in a team of like 16 lads, and the laughs and the times we've had were unbelievable. So we'd start work around 10 PM and then finish at 3:30, and then obviously straight from here, so if I was on prep, I'd have to get home, do my cardio, then go to bed, then wake up, cardio again, and then train my clients in the day. But working here, mate, I've still got friends for life, really, just through doing this job. I still speak to a lot of the guys that I work the doors with, and especially like the lads like Wahid, Jim Nuttall, and a couple of others. It was just the bonds you kind of make doing this job are like, it's almost, I can't compare it to like being in the army, but it is as well, because at the end of the day we've all got each other's back, we all kind of work together as a team. So it's kind of it was a good laugh. We had some pretty terrible situations, but we had some good laughs, and I'll have my claim to fame here as well. We had the game perform here live, and I did some CP work that night with him, and he refused every single person that actually paid extra to have pictures with him, refused everyone. And end of the night, after he performed, it was downstairs on the main floor, and behind the DJ booth, that's where the toilets was, and he kind of congregated there with his crew. And I was basically first in line. I had to woo him all night, and I think it got to like 5:30 in the morning. They was all kind of on next level drunk, and I took my opportunity. I was like, right, phone out. I was like, grabbed him, here, boom, selfie. So I managed to get a selfie with the game. That always been my claim to fame. But that was actually the first club I ever worked at. So I'll give you a little tour around Sheffield now, guys, and I'll show you where I worked and what door I actually stood on, and what clubs I worked at. It's all part of the history, it's all part of where I came from, what I did to get to where I am now. So I want to share it all with you guys, and hopefully you all get an idea of things having been handed on a plate to me. I had to kind of get out there and get it myself. So let's get it. So Maida Vale, this is like the second bar I worked at pretty much full time. I'm not going to take you to all the places because I pretty much work most of the Sheffield, but I'll take you to the main places I've worked at. So that was the second bar I ever worked at, and actually one of the bar managers that worked at Embrace at the time, it was his girlfriend's dad that opened up this gaff. So they kind of said, look, do you want to come and work there for me? I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll do it. And for a long time we worked here, and again we had some fun working here as well. But they're the stories we can't really share or disclose. It is what it is, you know, over 18 and that PG rated and all that. But we'll head over and walk the main street in Sheffield. So we'll walk through the main street in Sheffield now, and that'll be another bar that I worked at full time as well after working at Maida Vale, up until I retired from working doors. Just pretend I'm running. This is where I worked up until I kind of packed the doors in. So I started working doors when I was 18, and I finished when I was 22. And up until then, obviously, I did 2 working doors and obviously PTing in the daytime. But the minute I kind of devoted myself to PTing and coaching more, that's when I could really focus on that, and I made enough money to be able to do it full time. And funnily enough, I actually made far more just focusing on that aspect rather than doing both. But initially it was just, I know I had a solid income, and I knew that I had a wage coming in every week, so it was more secure than it was obviously working for yourself. But the day I made the decision to actually full-time work for myself and do my coaching, do my PTing, that's when I actually started earning some good money. And at that time, an opportunity came about of opening a gym with three guys I know. One of them was actually a really good friend of mine called Jill Nuttall, and that will lead us to next chapter of the story. So let's get on the road, Jay. We'll head back to Rotherham, we'll head outside the gym, and then we'll get cracking on the story about the gymnasium, how it all happened, how it all came about, and then that'll give you guys a little bit of a bigger picture of how I got where I am now. Right, so as I was saying, I've got a little bit more history behind this. So we first opened the gym doors in 2017, and that was January 9th. And the gym back then was called Iron Athlete, and we did have a very limited budget, but we still made it work. And the gym had always had an immense atmosphere, and it was purely down to the people that kind of made it so special. Day in, day out, it kind of formed a community almost, where it's still the same people are there now training in there and kind of hanging about, training together, pushing each other on. So it's been kind of special from day one. And I kid you not, from the day that we've opened this place, I probably haven't been away from it more than 3-4 days max, and that's only when I was out of the country. So everyone that knows me knows how much time and love I've got for the space. So even 4 years down the line now, 3 years down the line now, I'm still here day in, day out, and I still spend most of my days here. So how the merge happened with Ultraflex, I was lucky enough to train at Ultraflex. I think I went to Leeds for Meg's birthday, not last year, year before, and it was summertime. And I've known Mike through competing for years and years, so we've always known of each other, and Mike knew about this place. And I was training at Ultraflex in Leeds, and Mike came over, and he was just general chat, basically asking me how things are and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, wicked, things are going good, because like I said, even back then the gym was pretty successful and the gym pretty much ran itself. So obviously Mike was like, well, do you want to come in for a chat, and then we'll see what we can do. And then from then on, that's how Ultraflex happened. Obviously went in for a chat. Mike and Charlie kind of gave us a really good offer on a table where I could potentially build a dream gym with their help and their input over a space of a year, rather than waiting for 10 years. Whereas obviously without their input and expertise, I'd have probably had to wait another 10 years to get it up to a standard like this. So it was a blessing really that I was able to come across those people, and I think things happen for a reason, and things come into your life people come into your life for a reason. I think that's just how it worked out, and it all worked out well for myself and them. We will catch Mike at some point. I'm not sure if we'll catch him to get him in on this video, but if not, we'll get him in on the next video. But we will get Charlie to come and give a little brief overview of the history behind Ultraflex. Now you know the history a little bit about Iron Athlete and how Iron Athlete turned into Ultraflex. So obviously Charlie's the founder of Ultraflex. He's the main man behind the brand and the name. So I think it's only fair we get him on the video and get him to give us a little bit brief overview. Right, so as promised, we do always get a lot of questions about people asking what Ultraflex is about and who's the man behind it. So we've got the founder of Ultraflex here, Charlie, and we'll let Charlie fill us in a little bit on the details of how it's happened and where Ultraflex is heading.
Yeah, so it started off really with the fact that I was struggling to find a really good gym to train in, and training in different places. And originally it was just supposed to be the one gym, fit it all out with the best kit, excellent equipment, and then leave it at that. But as these things do, they grow and they build from there, and so expanded out into Normanton where we are today. And then through some mutual contacts and so on, Kuba and I came to meet, and that's where we expanded into working with Kuba in Rotherham, and to build what, appreciate I'm a little bit biased, but what I think is one of Europe's best facilities. And the concept behind it all is really, goes back to the first one, is money no object, all the best kit, finding all different manufacturers rather than just one, which is what a lot of gyms do, and making sure that our members have access to everything they need to really fulfill their potential. Now, having all the fancy kit is great, but they still have to apply the intensity that you'll see on Kuba's videos and the application of effort. You know, it doesn't do the work for you, unfortunately. We're working on that one. Maybe 2030 we'll have that. But for now, it's just giving you everything you need. So if you are going to put that effort in, and you know what you're doing, and obviously you follow, you know, Kuba, and you can see the diet and the training and everything that goes with the recovery, then the equipment here is going to give you that icing on the cake. And allow you to be also in an environment where, you know, you're around hugely successful, talented people who are pushing for the same thing, and it's that energy you get when you walk in the gym. You know, you can't watch some of these training videos without getting fired up. You know, you already just trained and you watch it and you want to go train again, and that's the whole point, is, you know, being in that environment where there's a great atmosphere, a very productive one, and a very competitive one as well.
So that's the wrap up, guys. I think we can't stress the importance of having good people around you, and I think your environment is everything, so surround yourself with people that kind of push you on and make you want to be a better person and kind of take things up a level. And I think my environment right now couldn't be any better having people like this around me, so I think you need to keep your eyes peeled and see what's next for obviously for me, for Charlie, and for the chain of the gyms coming next.
So guys, so the history day's over. It's near enough 12 o'clock at night, so it's time for bed. But you've seen where I started, you've seen the history behind it, you've seen the beginning, but now you're going to see how we're going to do it and what we're going to do to take it to the next level. And you're fortunate enough to see the next chapter firsthand and see what we're going to do to get there. So keep your eyes peeled. And like I said, when I say something, I fucking mean it. So it's fucking on.